Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we are 12 hours or less from seeing the Immortal Hulk and the Hulk update, first finally revealed in the Facebook live stream with Cage and Kim and any other guests that they might bring. A lot of us are secretly hoping to see Green Cage or Rage Cage, which I think would be amazing. But I don't want to give the guy too much work. It's probably difficult enough to work from home given the circumstances. To paint his skin green would be, asking, I think, too much. So yeah, I'm not actually hoping for that, but maybe we can see what happens. But yeah, I think a lot of people are really excited to see what the update is going to bring. Obviously, we're really excited and curious about if they're going to talk about and reveal anything regarding Shadowland changes, improvements, reward improvements. We're hoping for reward improvements. We're hoping for more flexibility and choice of rewards, less RNG. Obviously, a lot of people are hoping, because they're shutting Shadowland down for almost a week, that we're going to get massive, vast changes to the game mode itself, i.e. like new stages, new rule sets, maybe different stages as well in terms of the environment that you see, different camera angles. Hopefully they will add in a bunch of new characters and uniforms to Shadowland as well. But I think besides Shadowland and stuff like that, a lot of people are wondering about this guy right here, the Hulk, and how Marvel Future Fight, how the devs are going to finally get this character right. Because take a look, breathe it in. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, if you count the base look. 4 or 5 chances to make the Hulk good, to get it right, and they've literally never done that. And the tragedy is they've chosen most of the some of the most iconic looks for the Hulk. Obviously, Immortal Hulk is super iconic now, but it's just 2 years old. But Maestro is super iconic and super historic for Hulk. And then you've got World War Hulk as well. It's kind of funny. It's like they chose his best looks, and then they just didn't do much. If you take a look as well, as far as the uniform effect goes, they like, what did they change? What is this one? Oh yeah, this is a poison meteor that falls from the sky. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. And then for the World War Hulk uniform, he becomes World War Hulk. He takes over, right? Sakaar, and he transforms the planet. He becomes its ruler. And then he comes back to Earth and he dominates every single hero. And oh yeah, they gave him guard break immunity. Oh, cheers. Thanks, Marvel Future Fight. Guard break immunity is definitely going to reflect this character's power level. So yeah, this is going to be the 5th or 6th time. Hopefully they can finally get this character right. But what we need to find out first and foremost is how they're going to get this character right. So I'm obviously going to give you guys some ideas and throw some out there that I've seen a lot of people recommend and suggest. And I think the most obvious one is right in the name, right? Immortal Hulk. He's immortal, and if you read the comics, and the whole update is based on the comics, right? It's supposed to be based on the Immortal Hulk comics. He revives, he dies, and he comes back to life more times than Jean Grey, than the Phoenix. Like he literally revives like multiple times within the same issue. So that brings the question of, and it's interesting to look at characters by typing and how many of them can revive, because it's an interesting and it's a very rare ability that we have in Marvel Future Fight for characters to be able to revive. Even really iconic and really difficult to kill characters like Wolverine and Deadpool never got the ability to revive. So if you go over here to the Blast class, we actually have one really iconic and one not so iconic. We have, of course, Jean Grey can revive. Yeah, we all know about Jean Grey's revive, blah, blah, blah. But we also have Adam Warlock. Now, I think Adam Warlock should be a universal type, not a blast type, but that's besides the point. But yes, he can revive as well. Then over here in the speed class, until this year, we had 0 speed revivals until Sunbird. It's a bit weird that Sunbird is like 500-year-old pirate and he can revive. It doesn't really seem like he should be a speed type. He sounds more universal, but it is what it is. And of course, he gives a combat blast and universal the ability to revive in the rest of the Warriors of the Sky. But okay, so we got 1 in the speed class. But then the vast majority, the overwhelming majority of characters that can revive are all universal. So we have, of course, right on that first line, we've got Silver Surfer can revive. Bingo. You've got Corvus Glaive, one of the first people, one of the first characters to ever be given a revive. He can revive. Dormammu and Doctor Doom here can also revive. You got 2 more there. Then you've got Morgan Le Fay. She can also revive. And then we've also got Slapstick. So you've got 6 characters in the universal typing that can all revive, which is pretty bonkers. Ultron can't revive, but he probably should be able to revive. Odin can't revive, but he probably should be able to revive. Sentinel should probably be able to revive. There are a lot of others that honestly should be able to revive on this list. Ghost Rider should be able to revive. But anywho, it's a ton. There's a ton of characters here that should be able to revive. So then we go to the combat class, and we actually do have one character. Can you think of who it is who can actually revive? It's a character that a lot of people forget is combat because he changes typing so much. It's Groot. And Groot was actually the very first, and until now, he was the only, I mean, besides War Tiger and the Sunbird connection, but Groot is the only character that can revive. So the only combat character that can revive, and he was the very first character to get a revive. So, you know, possibly Hulk would be the next one if Hulk gets a revive. I honestly think Hulk should get a revive. I think it really illustrates the, you know, indestructibility of the character and the sort of immortality of Hulk. But on top of the revive, there are a lot of other things that Hulk needs to get as well. So besides the revive, obviously they need to give Hulk a massive upgrade to both his damage and his survivability. And mainly with the survivability, it comes from his enraged passive. Now, they sort of tried to reflect what the Hulk is like in the comics, where the more you hit him, the more you upset him, the more he takes damage, but the fight lasts, the longer the fight lasts, the stronger he gets. But they don't really get that done properly, right? Below 90%, he has a heal, he gets some ignore dodge, and he gets a pretty decent buff, a 20/20 all attack, all defense, all speed crit rate. That's not bad, but it's on a 5-second timer, and the enraged passive itself is on a 5-second timer as well. So it sort of just becomes this awkward thing where it comes on and it comes off, and of course it's only below 90%. So whenever he's hovering above 90% up to 100%, he doesn't get any of that buff. And so then from there he can be one-shotted, there's no damage reduction and things like that. He does have damage reduction here, he has 35%, but it just doesn't add enough to him. So they really need to re-examine this, and I think from now on, for characters that have a massive healing factor, they need to go with the template that they set 3 years ago with Wolverine. Below 99%, 5% heal every second on a 1-second cooldown. It's just that simple, because they just don't understand. I mean, the devs just don't take into consideration the scope of the damage, because even though Wolverine has insane healing, he can be one-shotted or two-shotted by a speed type character who has disadvantaged typing, right? So like imagine the Hulk getting one-shotted by Luna Snow or like Quicksilver, right? In the comics, that would just never happen because the Hulk is just too big and bulky. Like Quicksilver could do other things to the Hulk and piss him off and enrage him and waste his time or whatever, but he's not going to fly by and knock the Hulk out with one punch. I mean, maybe if he like starts on the other side of the world and he gets a running head start, but the Hulk is going to sense him, etc. So, you know, it kind of throws a whole monkey wrench into that situation. But this heal is just really, it's old. It's like it's been like 2 years, and since then it's been, redesigned. And if you take a look at a character, like, this hurts me to make this comparison, but War Tiger, okay? Should War Tiger have a better healing factor than the Hulk? The answer, of course, is no. But when we take a look here at his passive, below 99%, he gets a 3% heal. That's insane. So personally, the Hulk should have minimum that at 5%, not 3%. More than that, honestly, the Hulk should be like 6 or 7% heal per second. I wouldn't mind if Hulk had the highest base healing in the game, because he's the Hulk and it's called Immortal Hulk and he's immortal. So it kind of just makes sense. On top of that, there is another healing ability that I think they could borrow on top of the healing factor that they've only given to one character. They've literally never reused this ability. Maybe they're keeping it specific to Jean Grey and unique to Jean Grey because they love Jean Grey. They have a shrine to her in their offices. But her third skill, Psionic Tornado. And actually, someone asked me about this recently on Twitch. It's a very interesting ability. You can see there it accumulates. It's a healing ability that accumulates the true damage that she is dealt. And then the healing is improved. You can see it heals up to 65% of her HP. So it heals 6% per second. And then that 6% will increase by 4%, equal to or proportionate to 1% of the total damage received. And that can't exceed 100% of her max HP. So basically what that says is, all that jargled text, what it says is, like, if you press this skill and then Jean Grey doesn't take any damage, the heal is pretty small. It's just 6% of her HP every second, which, by the way, is still better than Wolverine's. Wolverine gets 5% every second. So her pressing this skill, she gets a heal that's automatically better than Wolverine's, and it starts popping off. Okay, cool. But what happens if she gets hit while she's healing from Psionic Tornado? Well, the heal starts to scale. So if you look at what this heal does in a regular setting, she'll be healing for like 4,000, 5,000 HP, and then you hit her with some skills and you drop her HP, or even you hit her but you don't drop her HP because this also gives her a guard hit. So if you don't penetrate the guard hit, But then the heal starts spiking, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. She can heal 40,000 HP per second for the duration of this ability if she gets hit while she's using it. Isn't that exactly what the Hulk should have? Right? Isn't that exactly what the Hulk should have? And they gave her, by the way, they gave Jean Grey this ability back in 2017. So since then, since they gave this uniform to Jean Grey, they've made 2 uniforms for the Hulk, Ragnarok and Endgame, and they never gave her this accumulation heal. They absolutely should give, or they never gave him. They never gave the Hulk the accumulation heal. They should absolutely give him the accumulation heal. So he's got the survivability down pack. He's got the revive down pack. If they take these ideas or they even go further, what else could they give the Hulk? Well, honestly, the only thing left is the damage. And there isn't really much content that I can take the Hulk into and show you how he does. I'm gonna try this one team because I was able to find a single team in timeline that he was using a speed character here besides Deadpool. I don't think the Hulk has a very good track record against Deadpool in PvP, at least not yet. Hopefully he will. But After Pulse, thank you so much, using not only Nick Fury but Black Widow. So all we have to do, and I've shown you this before, but all we have to do is kill the Spider-Man. Sorry, kill the Batman. No, all we have to do is, well, we have to kill Silver Surfer, which is easier said than done when I don't have Nick Fury and I don't have a way to stop myself from... Okay, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, there's 1 life down. All right, nice. So all we have to do is kill him, and then all we have to do is switch to... Here we go. I don't want her to die here. Aha. Aha. Haha! The Hulk has some small use. Oh yeah, you want an iframe? Haha! He has iframe ignore on his 3rd skill. I really hope they don't take this away from him because it's actually very cool. And it's an iframe skill, or it's an ignore iframe skill that's not an iframe. So this is interesting. I'll show you guys really quickly here. It's not an iframe. So against Silver Surfer and against characters that reflect, this is a terrible, terrible skill. Because as you can see here, well, it's a little bit of an iframe sort of in between, but the majority of the hits, right? There's a small iframe at the beginning, small iframe there, but then the rest of the whole skill, right? And the reason why you need to point out that it's not an iframe when he's hitting is because he'll take the reflect damage from Silver Surfer, and then, of course, then that just defeats the whole purpose of even playing against Silver Surfer and using that iframe ignore. So now I'm going to show you what this looks like when you actually just play a regular team and you don't pick on the type advantage that he has against Black Widow. Unfortunately, even though I have 150,000 HP and I have a CTP of regen on Hulk, yeah, he just doesn't. We'll try. We'll do our best here, but he's gonna take a lot of... Yeah. Okay. Sorry, big guy. You heard the roar, right? You heard the roar. Sorry, big guy. Yeah, he just doesn't cut it. He can't stand. Unfortunately, he's a Titan. The Hulk should be a Titan, but the way that it's been in Marvel Future Fight, he just can't stand with the Titans of the game, and he's never been able to stand with the Titans of the game. So I really, really hope that he can. I mean, he should be able to fight Thanos one-on-one. I mean, if Endgame and Infinity War are anything to show, he shouldn't maybe be able to fight them. But you know, no one's paying attention to those movies. Those movies did not do the Hulk justice compared to his actual power level. Wow, I'm getting bodied by Colossus. So yeah, and in PvE, there's not really much to say about the Hulk. He doesn't really do that much damage with his skills. He has long animations, but not a lot of hits, which is frustrating. Like, as cool as his 5th skill is, as cool as some of his other skills are, they're very long animations, and there's just not enough hits to justify sitting through those animations. You know, Marvel Future Fight is a very snappy game. It's very fast-paced. If a character has long animations, there has to be either a ton of hits in the animation, or each individual hit has to do a crazy, like, insane damage. So you think of a character that has, you know, doesn't have much skills, doesn't have much abilities on their skills, right? He's got Fracture, but besides the Fracture and the iframe, Ignore, and the immunity, you know, he doesn't have too much else. He's got a little bit of penetration, but this character, what does this remind you of? It reminds you of Namor, right? And you think about Namor doesn't really have any abilities on his skills. He just has damage. He's got a guard hit, sure. He's got a self buff, sure, but it's just damage. And that's the thing. He's got some long animation. He's got some decently long... Most of his animations are actually quite snappy. But let's say his 5th skill. It's got a pretty long animation if you sit through the whole animation. Now, you can cancel it. Can't cancel Hulk's animations. But if you don't cancel it, it's a pretty long animation. You can see there. and he does that final slash. Now you can cancel it and you can still get most of those slashes. As you can see there, he's bouncing around. But on top of that, Namor just hits like a truck. Namor's damage is like 3 or 4 times higher, right? You basically double, triple, quadruple the Hulk's damage, and that's Namor's damage. So if they're not going to give him more hits, then they need to up the base damage to compensate for those long animations. So those are the changes that I would make to the Hulk in a little bit of a broad sense. Obviously, you can get into specifics about penetration, about this, about that, but hopefully they will do the Hulk justice. And I'm really excited because we are, you know, literally hours away from finding out just how strong the Hulk is going to be and just how cool he's going to look in game. So let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you would change about the Hulk, if anything, and I'll see you on the live stream. Thanks so much. Take care.